Guys, welcome to the Cricket Weekly podcast with Adam and Nabeel.
Welcome.
Guys, today we are breaking down 10 reasons to fall in love with cricket right here. Right here. That's the title right here. 10 reasons to fall in love with cricket.
Man.
10 reasons why Americans should get involved with cricket, watch cricket. That's what today's about. All the things American cricket right here.
Let's go. First off, shout out to our USA men's team who pulled off another, victory over our arch rivals in Canada. Some words there, Adam, for USA boys.
Absolutely. So number 10 reason, we're going down the route to get involved with cricket is because Team USA has a cricket team. USA has a cricket team, and they absolutely have Canada's number over here. 7, 8, 9 in a row. We're on a streak. We're on a hot streak against Canada today. Comprehensive victory in the T20 over in the Netherlands, the Tri-Series, USA, Netherlands, Canada. We got it over Canada. We bent out in the bat, had a good bat performance, and then got it done. Restricted their runs. They couldn't score. Couldn't chase down the 168 or so. 168. Couldn't chase it down. So we get the win over Canada. So, and they had a lot of changes in their lineup. A lot of new faces. They're bringing up some young blood. They've had a good series, a lot of good experience being over there. So yeah. Nabeel, how'd you find it?
Major.
Go ahead.
Yeah, major shout out to the debutant, Sai Teja Mukalama, who scored a 50 on debut, 52 off 27 deliveries, was riding the bench for a little while, even after putting up some good numbers. So shout out to that kid. And he's got a really bright future and, for USA cricket. So definitely one main reason to watch USA cricket, on number 10 for me would be to, follow these youngsters with such great talent, coming up the ranks, Sai Teja Mukalama being one of them. Scored a brilliant 50 on debut again today. And just excited to see a lot of other youngsters. Raymond Dar is another one that's coming up the ranks. Really young kid, really good player out of Dallas. Trained here in Connecticut, but now it's in Dallas. Is playing for one of the minor leagues team this year. And a lot of other youngsters that I'm really excited to see. Yasser Muhammad, another one who's in the squad. So some good names there, but give Americans, Adam, a reason that, they would be like, man, why am I not watching cricket? Like something that they would totally fall in love with. Number 9, let's go with. What do you have?
So I think one of the big reasons that I watch cricket is just how exciting it is. Now, when you come to America, your number one, your nostalgia sport is the baseball. And when I watch baseball, when you're a non-American watching baseball, your first thing is, oh, this is slow. And there's not a lot going on. Like, sometimes you have those double plays and stuff like that. But for home runs, you're lucky if you get 5 home runs in a game. That's a really high scoring home run style game. Whereas T20 cricket, there's home runs, there's sixes being hit almost every over. There's a lot of big hits happening. And yes, the field is slightly smaller, but that's part of the thrill, is that you're getting to see a lot of big hitting and a lot of big hits. And, they have pyrotechnics going off. They have the LEDs in the stumps. When they throw the stumps down, it looks nice and exciting. And, there's just a lot going on there. There's something happening every ball. Rather with the baseball, it's a little. That's why this year, or maybe last year, they brought in that pitch clock to kind of speed it up a little bit, so it wasn't as slow. So a cricket is like a faster version, ball to ball speed than baseball.
Big time, man, absolutely. And since that change in baseball, players have also struggled. Pitchers have struggled, catchers have struggled, hitters have struggled because they've had to just contend with the different scenario, right? So in cricket, it's literally you play a ball 30 seconds or 20 seconds later, you're facing another one, and you're ready to hit and score runs off of it. So there's something happening. If you had to guess, I can't think of off the top of my head, Adam, but a cricket match that's had the most sixes hit. Can you recall anything off the top of your head?
Oh no, I'm not sure what the top of my head is, but like there's some of those Chris Gale Big Bash, like when Chris Gale came to Australia to play in the Big Bash, he was hitting like 3 sixes and over consistently, just pure entertainment. And like those are big hits. Like, you think of the baseball, they're hitting, 400 yards, some of the smaller side, 350, 370, but cricket, they're hitting, 250 to 350 yard hits, to get the home run, to get the six. And, it's also entertaining, like from a perspective of in baseball, you're wearing the glove right in the field. Well, cricketers are doing that same catch with no glove. So those, instead of having that like padded wall to run up and kind of grab with the mitt, you're running on the edge of the boundary rope, tiptoeing over the edge, diving full stretch, no glove, trying to get a one-handed specky. And then you bring in the slips cord into play. Just pure speed. Like that ball's coming in at 90 miles an hour, no glove, just straight hand, hardened hands with soft hands.
Yeah.
And taking those screamers of catches. And then also like you talk about the infield, like there's quick singles between the wicket. You're gonna have someone in close that can throw the stumps down, hitting the stumps, quick runs. They're diving. It's super exciting.
Yeah, the fielders are a lot more busier too, I feel like than baseball, because they're just getting hit the balls to them a lot more often as compared to baseball. So the field play, the actual, pitching changes and the rotation and this run scoring is much quicker at a very fast pace. So, that's definitely one of the big reasons why Americans should watch cricket. And before you move on, I want to drop a question for you guys.
Question in the chat.
Question. So drop this answer, whatever you guys, think the answer to this is. You guys should know this is a fairly simple question. So we have this 2028 Olympic Summer Games happening here in America. Which city is going to be, be held in? So drop your answers of this. And if you have any questions regarding cricket, again, drop it into the chat. We'll be happy to answer it. And a shout out to Shafi Ahmed. He just dropped a comment. So he likes what we're doing. So he says it's interesting. All right, interesting. Absolutely. Is good.
Well, this will bring up point 8. I'm going to interject on point 8 here.
There you go.
USA will be competing in the Olympics. Okay, we're not going to give away the location, but 2028 USA is competing in the Olympics. So as Americans, we got to get behind Team USA because it's going to be in the Olympics, and we don't want to lose. We want to win this thing.
Yeah.
So we want to get behind them.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop some information here that cricket was part of the Olympics back in 1900, and I believe it was the Paris Olympics. And after that, it's making a re-entry now in 2028. So, it's 128 long years. It has waited to enter into the Olympic arena again. So definitely the biggest reason why Americans should be watching cricket and learning cricket and, following Adam and I here and on TikTok to make sure you guys understand how cricket works. You guys may have a lot of questions and we're here to answer them for you guys, so make sure to smash that like button and give us a subscribe for, so we can bring more content to you guys. So my number 8, Adam, is essentially letting the Americans know that which sport doesn't take tea breaks, right? Which sport takes tea breaks? It's cricket. So tea breaks is one reason why they should definitely watch it, because they can sit back, enjoy some biscuits, take some time and enjoy the time, that players are not playing because they get a break in Test cricket. So you want to talk a little bit about this tea break in Test cricket?
Tea break. Yeah, talk about tea break. Yeah. So one of the big things of cricket, and I don't really know how this compares to baseball, but when you watch baseball, you watch football, when the players go off the field, they're going into their own individual dugouts. They're not communicating with each other. They're not talking to each other. In cricket, however, you actually go and have lunch and a tea break in a big room that is shared between both teams. Both teams are in the same room. Both teams are drinking the drinks. They have they've got their Gatorades. They've got their tea. They have their sandwiches. They have their lunch. They actually they sit down and eat lunch together. And then they have the next break when they're sitting down and drinking tea together. And this is traditionally because it's a British game and the Brits, they drink tea. They love
Yeah.
their Tetley tea with their little bit of milk in there. It's all like it was all fancy back in the day. That's why they all wear
Yeah.
that's why they all wear whites and keep it all like go to Lords, it's all very like it's like golf. It's like you got to be dressed nice, being at a country club. Golf was a country club style sport till the 80s. And
Yeah.
then they brought in the one day internationals, and they brought in they brought in the one day international cricket. Wow, back in the 80s, that was a wild time. That was when they just drank beer on tour. They all the guys that drank beer. I was watching Mark Taylor was talking about Shane Warne and some of the 80s, the Australian guys. They would just bring, cases of 4X Gold out on tour with them. They would drink after the game and then straight back into it the next day. Not so much these days. They got nutritionists and all kinds of things, but they get to sit down and have tea together. So you don't see that in many sports.
You don't see it in any sport. I mean, I don't know which sport. You tell me. Where people, sit down and take a tea break, man. So,
and even locally, interject. Even locally, when you go play for Nabeel, when you go play cricket with Nabeel, he'll make you food. He'll make you some tea. He'll make you some Indian food. You go down and eat it, and everyone eats together. It's a community.
Yeah.
Cricket's a community style sport, and we're just happy to be there playing. Happy to be there playing.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to enjoy some Indian food or Pakistani food, or come out to Clatter Valley Park in New Milford Saturday, Sunday, or even during the week, we're there drinking tea during the evenings with some biscuits. So and a net session, so you guys can learn about cricket. And we're usually there practicing and playing games. So definitely a good way for you guys to learn more about cricket is to come out to Clatter Valley Park in New Milford. So what are we going with on number 7, Adam? What's the reason number 7?
Number 7, why we need to get involved with cricket. One of the big things I think is like it's a sport I find it like similar to golf. Like golf is a very popular sport, and one of the things with golf is it's like you're challenging yourself inside of the sport. Like you're playing by yourself, you're challenging yourself. And cricket, that's why they call it a test match, because you have to stay out in the field for a very long time. It isn't like baseball where you get 3 swings at the bat and get to go back in the dugout, think about it, and come back. In cricket, it's where it's a sport where you can really test your mental ability, your mental fortitude. You have to stay out there as long as possible. Focus every ball, because you only get one shot. And I think that's the biggest thing for me growing up playing cricket. And one of the big things that kind of curved who I am as a person and my, motivation and determination to get through things. And in life, you're always going to get difficult things coming up. And cricket really teaches you that you got to stick it out. Like it's 100 degrees when you're out playing cricket in Australia. You got a ball coming at you, at your head really quick. Maybe let's swing it away. You have to really focus in and, get through the hard times, get through the swinging ball, knock the ball around, stay focused, talk to your mate. It's one of the other things. It's a partner sport too. It isn't just about a single sport, like in baseball or basketball, these sports where you're not 100% really relying on your teammate, but in cricket, you 100% have to rely on the guy at the other end, because if he makes a bad decision, it could cost you your wicket. And if you make a bad decision, it could cost him his wicket, and that could turn the entire game. It could losing the morale on the team could come down. So you have to work in a partnership, which is another thing. You have to really work with your teammates, know your team really well, know their styles, know their calls, all be on the same page. Because as we saw today, USA versus Canada, one of the most terrible runouts of all time. Both players. There's actually been multiple during this actual try series. 2 batters at the same end didn't communicate, and multiple runouts in this way. So it's one of those things. It's a test. So if you really want to test your ability as a sportsman, go play some cricket, because you have to really learn to focus, and then let everything go, and then focus. Let everything go.
Yeah,
focus. Be out there for hours.
It'll probably be one of the most challenging things that they will do, but if you're up for a challenge, it will definitely be something that will be very fulfilling once you can actually figure out, how it works. I mean, Adam's talking a little about test cricket, right? And the resilience and the patience that you need. Sometimes a guy doesn't get out for 3 full days. Sometimes it can bat on and on and on, right? So imagine having the patience for batting for 9 straight sessions or 8 straight sessions, 30 overs each, and you can really get out on one ball, right? One delivery. So imagine the focus and the concentration. So what's really tested is all those things in test cricket is that you really gut it out, you spend time out into the middle, and the priority is not to score runs right away. The runs usually end up coming if you're spending time out there and you're in survival mode. That's what usually test cricket's about, right? Mostly survive through the spells of the faster pitchers, and get them tired out in 2-3 sessions, and then by the time the batter comes back to bat in the 4th session or the 5th session, that's when they're going to take advantage of these guys, because they're going to be tired, the bowlers, and they can score heaps of runs. So it's a very strategical approach to test cricket, wouldn't you say, Adam?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it applies to the T20 as well. It's the whole theory around you only have one chance. So one mistake costs you your wicket, and all of a sudden you could be up, you could be ahead. You make one little mistake, and then you have a batting collapse, and the whole game's over. So there's no second chances in cricket, which is what makes the sport so fun, so thrilling, so entertaining. And from the athlete perspective, you just strive to make sure you get those runs, you don't get out, you really support your team. And yeah, that's what I got for my next reason. What do you got? What do you got for number 6 over here? Maybe hit him with the answer to the question.
Yeah, I want to hit him for the answer first. I mean, you guys should all know this. Cricket is to be reintroduced as an Olympic sport in 2028 Summer Games, which are set to take place in what American city? The answer is LA. So I hope you guys are all ready to support the USA cricket team. USA cricket needs all the support it can get from American people to understand cricket, to watch cricket, to really make it a mainstream sport here, and support women's cricket as well, because right now is very lopsided. If you follow our tweets, on X, or whatever they call it now, and but yeah, cricket is hindered by the disparity of male and female in cricket. There's a 99% mostly males playing cricket here, right? So we want to build more pathways for women cricket, want to support women's cricket, so we can build the market base more, and obviously everybody can really enjoy cricket, and we need that for collegiate NCAA status as well. Let's not forget that. So that's another reason why to support cricket and watch cricket, is to help cricket get to NCAA status, because that's what we would all love to see. Because I think the ultimate growth of cricket here, really is through the NCAA. If you want to grow cricket in America, NCAA.
Yeah, the college sport. Yeah, getting into college. I mean, America is a unique country where all the sports run through college. So, if you take Australia, you take India, Pakistan, England, all the actual cricketing countries, the cricket is actually run through clubs. It's run through club cricket outside of college. There is no college university system that governs sport. So it's just a weird dynamic here in the States, where it has to go through the college system to really get that, age group of people, those high athlete people coming into their prime in the sport, playing cricket, because otherwise you have to play outside of college. You got to find a club, and generally people are going to college. So those people are already tied up out of college playing something else. And it's not until they come out of college that they're able to get into the sport through the club system. By that point, they've already maybe made it to lacrosse or water polo or football or baseball or whatever else they're doing that is, set up throughout the college system.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think on my last interview with, Peter and Nate and Aman, when they were on the podcast, he mentioned obviously ice hockey, right? So we have an example in front of us of how they were able to really focus on states where, there were hockey-rich states. So we got to do the same thing. We got to focus on cricket-rich states, reach out to those universities, get some Division I programs in there, and let it fall through to the bottom, because that's how I think we can provide that talent at the top level, the cream of the crop.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be that far off, considering that some of the big ones out here, like Yale, they play rugby. If you're playing rugby at a college, you are just the next step over to cricket, because rugby is an English sport. And, that's these big universities here are English style, old school based, traditional style based. They play these traditional games rugby, and the next step would be to like bring in the cricket. And it's really just the education. And there's a nice comment here in the chat. Doing away with the media monopoly in cricket would greatly help. So that's one of the biggest things. I say this a lot. You know, you turn on ESPN, you're not going to see a thing about cricket. Now, if cricket, the only way for cricket to really grow its exposure is to have the major sporting networks talk about it. Like headline today should have been USA Cricket beat Canada. That's what it should be. That's what we should be talking about today.
9-0. 9-0 or something,
9-0. Right? We won 9 in a row against Canada. Like that should be top tier sports journalism, but it's not. It's whatever else it is.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to contend with, is that it's just not exposed.
Absolutely.
You know, it's only on these private networks. I know Yes Network tried to do some work there for the MLC, doing the MI New York games, but that's isolated. If you're not living over in this, you know, in New England, you're not going to get that network, you know. So much more needs to be done from sporting heads and, you know, these big sporting media outlets to cover it. Even if it's like the last piece of the news, like even if it's like one piece of your top 10 that breakdown, or your, you know, oh, hey, by the way, USA beat Canada today in cricket. By the way, you know.
It should be part of the news, you know, but it should be covered by the media. We should have that support, but obviously I think it's lacked the support because of that NCAA system, and we've failed to maintain, you know, women's cricket across at least 20 nations, or 20 states is where we need to be for us to at least be eligible to, you know, get to that NCAA status. We know we can hit it with the men's Division I program. Probably we have a ton of male interest in cricket here, but women cricket, again, it's going to be the hamper that can really stop us, right? So I would want to urge, you know, all the cricket administrators, league cricket, you know, whoever runs these cricket admins all across different states in America, to definitely bring programs for, you know, women and girls cricket. So we can definitely, you know, get to that NCAA status. So, you know, hashtag cricket for NCAA status into the comments, and, you know, let's get this started, because I want this, you know, to be widely known all across America, because it's a big, big thing, that we need to do for us to really gain some traction here.
Yeah. And I mean, like, to really grow the women's sport, you really need a women's role model. So like you're gonna see like the two sports now that are growing, like since the Olympics, like Ilona Maher really has like put rugby on the map here and exposed rugby because they did so well at the Olympics, you know. That's like incredible. Like no one knew what rugby was to the Olympics. Ilona Maher is out here, you know, being a really great sports role model, and then bam, like, you know, shows up, executes, shows how good of a, you know, athlete she is, how good the USA team is, and then bang, they get a bunch of funding, and you know, good on them, like, good on women's rugby. Like that's awesome, and that's like Absolutely. What you would need from cricket is similar things, like these guys that are in the team to be, you know, advocating online, be having social profiles, elevating the sport, talking about it more. And being able to, like, you know, grow the game. That's going to bleed into women's cricket, because there's going to be women's cricketers that are doing the similar thing, playing internationally, playing locally. You know, you just want to get those stars involved so that they can, because you need to have people, you know, something to, like, you know, cling to, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
absolutely. No, absolutely. And it's, you know,
it's coming. We're growing.
We're definitely growing. And, you know, Big Nate just joined us. So Big Nate, again, welcome back to the pod, man. And, I totally agree with you, man. The government body needs to do, you know, a better job of promoting cricket in the country. They need to find better, you know, partnerships with, you know, already sports that have infrastructures to really build out better infrastructures. I mean, we're getting there one step at a time, but, you know, it's going to be a long road ahead for us. But I think Major League Cricket and World Cup has definitely helped us. And I think Nate got another comment. You know, he says so many sports have become super popular in the short amount of time in the USA. Example, new craze is paddleball and pickleball. You know, pickleball is something that has blown up. I mean, I'm a racquetball player, and a lot of my racquetball friends, you know, are now playing pickleball. You know, in the summertime, they're not showing up at the courts anymore. So, you know, it's become such a big sports, right? So why can't cricket, you know, have that support? I feel like, but
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, we'll get
it's
there.
another thing. You have to win over the people too. So, like, one of the biggest things I've found being here is just the stigma around it. They know what it is, and there's a stigma around that. It's a boring game. It's a long game. All the rules are
I agree.
complicated. You know, it's basically this the whole stigma around it. And you know, again, we wouldn't even be sitting here having this conversation unless USA beat Pakistan. Like a USA beating Pakistan
Right.
basically accelerated cricketing talks in the USA. I blew up on the internet talking about it,
Yeah.
explaining cricket,
Yeah.
and people were looking for, the answers to the questions like, how does this cricket thing work? And, I would definitely say it's tailed off a little bit. Like the World Cup really moved into the MLC, which moved into the Olympics. And, the way that the world works now with the trends and people try to kind of catch up on things, cricket has really moved itself out of the limelight sports wise here in the US. Like I'd say the biggest topic right now is like Caitlin Clark and the basketball, and the baseball season is coming to an end, and you've got the football seasons now starting. Because once football season starts, that's all we're going to hear about for the next 4 months or however that runs for, the 16 weeks it runs for.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the next thing. And that's the one thing that's stopping cricket is just basically the monopoly over the big sports here in the US. Like football dominates. It's going to be on the TV, Thursday night through Monday night. And then, baseball's always on the TV. Then I got the 160-ish, 170-ish games. And, it's hard to kind of pull someone off from their nostalgia. A lot of these things I'm finding is that the sports here, football, NFL and baseball, are so nostalgic to Americans that you're trying to pull them almost away from watching their own sport, which is kind of hard. And you can only really have these small window tournaments to like in between times. So like, oh, grab your attention here for the World Cup for a little bit. Oh, grab your attention here for the MLC for a little bit. And then be like, well, football's coming, so see you later.
I agree. I mean, these sports, right, like football and basketball and baseball, these are huge sports, but they're have such rich history here in America, right? And they've built such ways to essentially control that entire system, because they know how exactly things are going to pan out. I mean, if you look at Vegas, right, they know from just the betting's perspective what's going on, what's happening, how things are going to pan out. So it's so deep in those sports that if they're not even a fan of the sport, just to make money, they might even just go bet on something and watch that sport, right? So
Yeah,
it's not like that in cricket. I mean, like, right, cricket right now doesn't get that backing here either from any of these big so-called players, right? Either that be the players who control the betting arena or any other ways. So, but we got a long way to go. We're getting there. So let's move on to reason number 6, man, or number 5. I think we're up to, right. Number
you hit
6
us with
was
what
for us, the Olympics. Yeah. So
what do you got for 5?
what are we going with number 5? I have, let's see. For number 7, I'm gonna say that in cricket, fielding positions sound like dance moves, right? So they should definitely watch it because just to hear the words and commentary, right? Slip, gully, silly
Just to
point,
hear the
short
words.
leg. Just sit down and hear the words, and I'm sure you'll get a chuckle out of it. So it'll be entertaining to hear the commentary and listen to
It's a
these
double-edged
fielding
sword.
positions.
This is a double-edged sword. Yeah, cricket has the very bizarre names: cow corner, cover, square leg, deep mid wicket, fine leg, mid off, mid on. Now, and from the outset, like you don't have any idea what that means, which I'm saying double-edged sword because you play baseball, you're like, oh, it's like left center field. So you can go, oh, okay, it's left center field, or like deep right, hit the ball deep to right. You can in your head, you kind of know where that is. But when you say to when you say to a non-cricketer, oh, he hit it down, he hit it to cover, he hit it down mid-off's throat. They're like, what are you talking about, bro? Oh, he hit it straight to gully. Like, it's one of those things where, again, you got to educate, which is hard to do. You're explaining something they don't know. But to listen to a commentator talk about this stuff should be fun. They should make games out of it. I'm sure they could put it on the TV in the bars, and you can have a drinking game. If you don't know a word, drink or whatever, and then everyone
Yeah.
that's how you get people into cricket. Actually, not a bad
Yeah.
idea. Actually, right there. Phone on
Absolutely.
the bar, talking up alcohol
I think
sales.
we should actually start a challenge on this. You know, I don't know if we can do a quick challenge. I'm gonna challenge you on here live, Adam, that we should do a short leg dance.
A short leg
and, and
dance.
and post it on TikTok. And you can challenge the next person and let's make it go viral, man. Let's
You
make
do
cricket
it. Do the
popular in
short leg.
America.
There
The
you
short
go.
leg dance, you know. Hey, I mean, it makes me want to bust a move, man. When I hear, you know, silly point, gully, short leg.
We can definitely come up with some sort of cricketing trend. I know. I just saw I
Yeah,
just saw a rugby trend actually. It's like the
yeah.
run straight trend where guys are just running straight at each other and they're just getting bulldozed by the other person. I'm sure we can
I
come up
know.
with a cricketing trend. So come up with a
I think
cricketing
so
trend
too.
to yeah,
Yeah, just challenge, pass the challenge on, man, and let's
pass the
make
challenge
it go
on.
viral.
How
You know,
easy.
so yeah,
What's
absolutely, man. So what are we going
number
with?
4? I'm gonna go with number 4. Is in cricket you get to yell a lot. You get to yell and scream, and you get to say, "How's that? How's that one? How
That's right.
easy?" And
Anytime you want.
you get to just go nuts. Like you get to ask in
Yeah.
cricket, you have to ask the umpire if it's out. You can't just think that it's out. You got to ask the umpire, especially for the LBWs and the caught behinds. And so, if you ever go or watch a cricket game, just hang around. Just wait for a few balls because in any minute you're going to see the whole team go, how is he? And they're all going to cheer out of nowhere. It was quiet until then. It was quiet. It was just crickets. You hear nothing's happening. And then, how is he? Like, that's like one of my favorite parts of life. Like some of my best memories in life is just getting a really faint edge behind, everyone screaming, you know, or the thud of the ball hitting someone plumb in front, and you all just go up and you're waiting for the umpire, and he raises his finger, and you're like, yeah, he got him. How is he? And you're sending him back to the pavilion. Like, where is that in any other sport?
You can't find it. You can't find it,
man.
The passion,
it's not in any other sport.
The energy and the passion of cricket is unmatched. You know, like I'm gonna bring up that Wahab Riaz versus Shane Watson spell. Nate brought it up.
Yes.
He fell in love with cricket watching that spell from the World Cup. You know, he's a former professional Division I baseball player, right? Who played, you know, Division I ball and watched cricket, watched that Wahab Riaz spell to Shane Watson, and he was just like, man, what's happening? The intensity, the drama, the passion, and just, you know, it reminded him of Nolan Ryan, he said, right, from one of the baseball legends. So that's why I think, you know, they need to watch it, is because the moments and the intensity that gets created in cricket, you're not going to find anywhere. It's better than a boxing match sometimes, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's absolutely a reason that, you know, they should, Americans should watch cricket, right? And for number 3, I'm gonna bring out my number 3 here. Where did you go? Let me see. I lost it. I lost my number 3.
Lost your number 3.
Yeah, the celebrations are extra, you know. So I'm gonna build up off of what Adam just said, you know, because you can yell, "How's that?" How's that? You yell to appeal, right? When you're asking the ump, "Hey, is that out?" So to ask that, you say, "How's that?" Right? But once the ump gives it out, the celebrations that begin is like, you know, they've conquered Mount Everest or something, you know, like they're just going crazy on every
It's very
wicket.
similar. Yeah, you could probably say it's
Yeah.
similar to like scoring a goal in soccer. Like if you were to compare a similar style of celebrations, like scoring a goal in soccer, you know, well, I guess if you maybe score a touchdown, but yeah, it's also one of those things where there's a little bit of anxiety there because you're asking, you're waiting to know, like you don't know what he's going to say. You know, when you're playing club cricket, there's no DRS, there's no, you know, video umpire. It's just you and the umpire, and you know, hopefully it goes your way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one thing you mentioned before also with the rivalry and some of the build up there and that Shane Watson incident, I think one of the big things is the way that it's portrayed on television, like the way that it's hyped up on television and some of these matchups That's something
Yeah.
that you have to really get good to like really get the people involved. Like you watch like that spell. You can watch the Sean Tate from Australia. Some of these guys,
Yeah.
like the faster guys, when they really wind up, it really
Oh,
gets
yeah.
the crowd going. Having the ball coming in at 100 miles an hour. I think that is part of it too. Like, I really am big on having like one really quick bowler in the side. Like every team should have one express pace bowler. There should be like two medium seamers, and there should be one express pace bowler. And that fast bowler should get the ball of every opening spell for these T20 games. And it can go sideways. They could be a little
go for a lot of runs. Yeah.
Could go for a lot of runs. Like Starkey, he goes for a lot of runs, but he's super exciting. He's got the extra pace. You want to see him bowl that in swinging Yorker and bang gets him, and you're like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, sometimes what happens is a guy can hit 150 clicks, but you don't expect them to hit 155, 157, 158. Just when we're pulling inside of them for that something extra, because their adrenaline is pumping. They have this fire in them that they want to, obviously answer them about something. So there was something between Wahab Riaz and Shane Watson, I believe, in the buildup to that, right? And he was just he went to this captain. He said, dude, all I'm gonna do is bounce him, right? That was his plan. He's like, I'm not doing nothing else, so just I'm gonna bounce him, give me a fine leg, give me a third man. He got him to hook one, and guess what happened? Our Pakistani fielders just dropped the sitter, right on the deep fine leg.
Dropped the sitter.
Rahat Ali. So, oh my God, I don't even want to remember that moment. I was watching that game live. So, but yeah, that's definitely my number 3 reason is to watch the celebrations, because they're pretty intense.
Bring us home. Bring us
around to the full field. So drop your best celebrations actually in the comments if you're a cricket, if you watch cricket. Remind us some of the best celebrations. I think Imran Tahir is one of the guys who just runs off.
You gotta love. Oh, who's the guy from England? The English guy, the spinner. It'll come to me. He's from like the 05, 06, 07 kind of series guy. Yeah. What was his name? He was a
Graham
Swan.
Graham Swan.
No. It'll come to me.
Monty Panesar.
Yeah, Monty Panesar. Yeah. He was the best. He would take off and go running. Love that. In similar vein, when Shane Warne got his 300 in England, he took off. He was like wagging his finger, running around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good time right there. Man.
Absolutely. So what are we going with on number 2, Adam? What do you got?
Number 2. Watch cricket. Did we get this question here? How many years?
I did drop this question. So if you guys have the answer to this, drop it into the chat. This is for American friends. I mean, if you're a cricket watcher, you know the answer to this. But for American friends, if you guys want to drop the answer to this, that'd be cool, and we'll let you know the answer shortly. So yeah, we'll drop it right before the end of this video. We're almost there, guys. So number 2, I think we're up to, Adam.
Number 2. So number 2 reason is because you got it to be a true American. Okay, you have to know where cricket comes from. Okay, cricket was first played originally in the United States. It was USA and Canada played the very first international game of cricket. The first international sport ever played between two countries started right here in the USA. So if you're going to be
in New York,
USA, you got to be like, well, we started it here. All the founding fathers, they all played cricket. And then somewhere along the line, they were like, we're going to go play baseball instead. So, if you're gonna wear your red, white, and blue, you got to get behind cricket. We got to bring it back because it was originally an American sport. We played it here on this continent here before we even played it in Australia. Australia wasn't even invented yet.
Absolutely.
Most of the countries that play cricket hadn't even formed yet. They weren't even there. And so
Pakistan, there where I'm from, it didn't exist in 1800. So
it wasn't even there. So somewhere along the line, I think, and I say it to people, I kind of joke about it. Like, since the revolution, the Americans were like, anything that British, nah, nothing to do with it, mate. We're gonna make everything up on our own.
Yeah.
So, but that's America is the heart of cricket started right here in America. So if you're American, you gotta love your cricket.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to build off of that, my number one reason for Americans to watch cricket is that baseball was derived from cricket, right? So, um, baseball is the son, cricket is the father. Just to let you guys know, So can't be a bigger reason,
A
Can't be a
little,
bigger
a
reason
little.
than that,
It's baby
right?
cricket. It's baby
Yeah.
cricket.
Yeah, it's baby cricket. Yeah, baby cricket. It's baseball. So cricket is I feel like is more of a strategical sport, where you're tested all across the board. I've played baseball as well in my high school days. So I understand what takes, to play baseball, at least in the high school level, right? But cricket I've played across the board, and I understand, the difficulties at both levels. And cricket by far, I think the challenges that come, with the type of formats there are, the type of cricket you have to play, and what athletes have to do to maintain the consistency is mind blowing. So definitely my biggest reason is, baseball was derived from cricket, so they should definitely
Yeah.
watch it for that reason, because yeah, it's a much more in depth and a much more fun sport than baseball, I think.
And absolutely, and bringing this together full circle, even back from this one back to the original
Yeah,
one, if cricket, if you're not, let's say, you're trying to go through the system, you're trying to become a baseballer, and let's say you're not going to make it all the way, okay, and maybe
yeah,
you're going to end up in triple A, something like that. Well, you have a skill set that is like
transfer over.
duplicated in another sport. You can take
Yeah,
that skill set of baseball, even if you do little league and you go all the way up the ranks and you can't make it all the way in the majors, which is obviously difficult. There's only so
yeah,
many people who can play Major League Cricket. If you're not going to be that, person, you can switch over to cricket because there is a big opening for you here. There's a huge opportunity for you here. You have the skills, you have
big
the
time.
hand-eye coordination, you have the bat to ball contact, you
Fitness.
know, you have the fitness, it takes a special kind of person that can hit a ball coming 100 miles an hour,
Yeah,
and then you're just taking that skill set, moving it to a super similar sport, the most similar sport to baseball, you know,
yeah,
and because America is looking to grow that sport. So if you're on that AAA cusp, you couldn't make it all the way, you can switch over and learn a sport that has, let's say you want to be an Olympian. You want to be an
yeah,
Olympian, you're not going to make it in baseball because that is such a heavy pool. You could
yeah.
easily switch over to cricket, use the same skill set, make a USA
Absolutely.
team, and start playing minor league cricket in the US, major league cricket in the US, be one of those homegrown talents, there is a pathway
Absolutely.
there through baseball.
Absolutely. Especially for guys that can, they're throwing 95, 90, 89, but may lack the control to get to that major league level. They have the velocity, but the control is really what makes, a player a major league player, right? When they have that control. But there's players that may be able to, as you said, transfer that over, just with a switch of some technical things, right? Cricket is
Yeah.
more technical than obviously cricket. So the challenge to switch over isn't just going to be like a overnight thing. It's going to take, years of practice, I would say, like, for you to perfect, that you're either, if you're bowling, your action for bowling down, or if you're batting, then your technique and your actual form for batting down. So it takes a lot of work and practice. So if you're looking for cricket again, in your area, find a local club, find a local team, go out there, enjoy the community, enjoy the food, enjoy the tea. Everybody will take, will cater to you in that community because they want you to learn cricket, so free food every Saturday, Sunday, you can go get on a cricket field if you just go chill. So it's
Free
an invite
food.
across US to everybody,
That's the
and
number
all
one
the players.
reason. The
Yeah,
cherry on top, you get free food. Free
that's
food.
absolutely right. Absolutely right. Free food, and then we build a community together. So it was a wonderful live stream today. A lot of engagement and good questions. We're going to drop the answer to this question before we get off of here. So the answer to this is white, obviously, for our American friends. And Test cricket, last 5 days, and they wear white kits, and yeah, they try to look baller in the pearly whites. And yeah, before we get off, I mean, I had to, let's see. Yeah, I wanted to bring up another bonus reason, right? And the bonus reason is that, cricket is the only sport where a draw lasts 5 days. So it's another reason for you guys to watch cricket is that in no sport you will see a game or a match last 5 days and end in a draw. So cricket's the only sport there.
And end in a draw. That's right. But in saying that, though, some of the most exciting test matches have been trying to save the game. Like you know
Yeah,
you've
absolutely.
lost, but you're saving the
Yeah.
game, and that's the win. It's the win in itself, saving the game.
Absolutely.
Like it's the last hour. You're looking at the clock. You're looking at the light. Is there enough light to play?
Yeah.
Is there enough balls being bowled? You know,
Yeah.
is
The
there
drama.
only
Oh, the
the
intensity.
drama? Is there only one person left? I think
Oh.
one of my favorites is Michael Clark versus India at I want to say it's the MCG, and it's just like they needed 3 wickets in the last hour, and he gets them all. Like it's just, and you see it's like something else to see too. You're never going to see in baseball or any of these sports where every fielder is in almost within arm reach of the batter. Like they're all within 6 feet of the batter. You see every fielder so close to the batter, and it's just like a wasp's hive, bees hovering around, waiting for that little edge, waiting for that little mistake, and it just all of a sudden you get the edge, you get
the banter and the oohs and the ahs and the emotion and the drama and the intensity. That's what I want again Americans to understand. Cricket is, again, they're, as Adam said, they're trying to save the test match. So it's not about the win at that point. If they can't win it, it's about not losing. So they're just like, man, I got to bat out time. I have another 2 hours to go, and I just can't get out. You know, if they get 2 outs in the next 2 hours, match is over. So we just have to block for 2 hours. So you're essentially watching batters block for 2 hours and the other team trying to get the guys out. Yeah.
I've been there. I remember this one game, the day that I scored my very first 50, actually. It was in Australia, across from the beach at Newcastle Beach right there. And yeah, we were toast. It was a 2-day game, absolutely toast. There was no way we were gonna win. And literally I batted for like 4 hours. just blocking the whole time. Just blocked all day, and eventually they got so mad they started bouncing me, and at that point there's nothing I could do. So I was like, at that point, just like trying to hit the ball, get out of the way, edge. I was so many edges over the back of the slips, over the keeper's head. No, we batted out the day. We ended up, with the draw, but it was like one of those things. It's like there's a picture there's a picture of it at my parents' house, because it was like it was a win because we didn't get out. And I got 50-ish. I got 50-ish or something like that. I saved the test.
You guys saved the test.
Saved the test.
Yeah, saved the test. Absolutely. So, I think that's what we had from here for us tonight. Top 10 reasons why Americans, should watch cricket. And let us know your question into the comments. Make sure to check out Reverse Scoop Shop. And let's get the hashtag NCAA cricket and NCAA. So let's get that hashtag going. Let's get some people aware about these things, right? So we want to bring out some issues and make sure we're growing cricket, and we need all the support from you guys. So Adam, you have anything else before we call it off, man?
That's it. We'll be back next week. Monday or Tuesday we'll be live here. We'll do it again then. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Nabeel Khan and Adam Bannon from the Reverse Scoop signing off.